So, hey guys, welcome to GNAG. I'm here with my co-host, Craftalile. Back from an excellent vacation. I feel like I have deja vu from saying this, but oh wait, that's because we already said this and recorded multiple times. But at least you didn't get the knob thing this time. I'll take that. That's a dub. Victory Royale.
I hate myself. I hate this computer. I hit record, and it just is like, no, you didn't.
Can only make so many excuses.
So, you know what? We're just going to start off with the story that, basically, we were talking about fast food apps, and to make a long story short, basically...
Wendy's nuggets are terrible. I like the McDonald's deals that they do.
Yeah, and Chick-fil-A has the best rewards program of all.
Because you get points, and you can use those points
free delivery,
for stuff.
All sorts of stuff.
And Taco Bell does that, but theirs is dumb because you have to spend as much money to get to fire level, and then you get better rewards. So it's just give me the regular rewards.
And from there, that's pretty much it. We elaborate a little bit, we talked about
how Subway has one too, but no one uses the
And we also said how McDonald's had the bacon chicken wraps, which used to be amazing. Then they made the snack wraps, and now both are gone. And
can we just have the wraps back, please?
Honestly, they were the best McDonald's menu item.
They were so good. McDonald's, please, I'm back.
After we went there, we started talking about the Subway app, and then we started talking about Subway. And I decided to tell the story of why I will not go within 50 feet of a Subway.
But why, Crafter, will you not go within 50 feet of a Subway?
So a lot of my friends know this.
Do you have a restraining order?
No.
That's a joke.
But I should get one.
Maybe.
So basically, a lot of the managers at Taco Bell, Subways are not good apparently, and they have no form of professionalism at all. Dang. Because what ended up
happening? What shade? You've only been to how many Subways?
4.
Okay, fine. That's very bad. But it's not. You can't speak for the whole company though.
Whatever. Anyways, so the first one is around the corner from my old house. My friend, she worked there, and what ended up happening is her manager hated her, and because I was her best friend, she hated me.
Was she a good worker?
Yeah, the customers liked her, but
why did the manager not like her though?
She was jealous of her. All the other employees liked her better and wanted her to promote to manager.
Sounds like they should just do a better job.
Honestly, but basically she ended up not liking me, and in turn, it just she treated me awfully. I was literally a customer. I didn't work there.
You had no relation to the Subway at all.
No.
Dang, bro, chill.
I need the table. But yeah. She hated me and just treated me awfully, so I stopped going there. And then my friend moved to one across town near our college, and she worked at that one. Well, the manager loved her. This manager loved her in a creepy way. He liked her a little too much.
Pause.
But he hated me out of pure jealousy because I was so close to her.
It's there.
So he treated me awfully. I'm actually pretty sure he did spit in my sub once.
No, he didn't.
My friend thinks she did, but I didn't.
No, he did not spit in your sub.
I would hope not, but I'd believe it after meeting that guy.
Just for you existing?
Pretty much. Just
Dang.
For being close to my friend.
A lot of people don't like you, but usually they have some sort of reason
These
for
two
it.
are literally, oh, you're too good with friends with this person. But one, in completely opposite situations. One was oh, you're too close to this person, and I want to be the closer one. And the other was I hate this person, and you're close, so that means I hate you too.
Dude.
I don't know. But then, and those two were related to my friend. Well, then there was one in the little town right above us. And that one is this is the one that really sent
the creepy stalker one?
Yeah, I had a stalker. Actually, Kaden did too, but we'll talk about that.
It was your friend.
Friend is a
Why were they at your birthday?
We'll talk about that one in a second. But basically what happened is I went to the Subway, which was across the street from the coffee shop I worked at. So I ended up, the manager of this coffee shop, she's a friend of mine. She wanted some food, so I was like, okay, I'll go grab you a sub. She's like, okay, cool. She handed me cash.
Yep.
I went across the street.
Yep.
Paid for the sub.
Makes sense.
Well, the employee looked like she was having a bad day, so I just said hi. I literally...
You too far.
I said
too far.
hi.
You can't do that.
And
you can't
she
do that.
immediately perked up, looked at me, and it's like her eyes widened, but I didn't really think about it at the time. And then she started getting all chit-chatty. So
I feel like we need a dramatic reenactment here.
Nope.
I'll be the girl. I'll be the girl.
Nope. Not doing that. So I paid for the sub, and I got the sub.
It's a bad day right now. Someone say hi to me.
Hi.
Hey, what you doing later? Wanna come back to my place?
Anyways, I paid for the sub, I left, and nothing else. By the way, again, I paid in cash. I never once said my name, and I didn't go in with anybody.
Doesn't matter. You said hi. That was too
next
much.
week.
Too far.
A week from that day, I went in again, did the same thing. Paid in cash, all that jazz. So then, that was on a Wednesday. On Friday morning, evening, or noon, like around noon, I get a text from this. I get a text from this girl.
How did she get your number?
You tell me, because and here's the thing.
What?
Some people said like, "Oh, well, she probably knows people." You know, I'm like,
Probably.
even if she does,
I could see
she
that.
didn't know my name or see anybody I was with. I wasn't with anybody either of those two times.
Facebook stalking.
But she didn't know anything about me. That's the thing.
But
she knew.
if
I don't
she
even live
saw
in
your
that area.
face, bro.
I don't even live in that area.
Too bad.
So I get a text
You're on
from
the
her.
internet.
I get a text from her, and like she just starts talking, and I'm like, I didn't even respond. But once
Dang.
I was like,
Savage.
who is this? And she said, me from Subway, and I was like,
I would be like, how did you get my number?
I didn't want to know. I was too scared to find it. But then,
so like, don't text me.
well, then I ended up, not going there for a while. And then I did have to go back another time. But this time I was with my brother and his girlfriend at the time, and then her best friend, who I liked at the time.
What? I'm just trying to make sense of what you just said.
My brother and his girlfriend at the time.
Okay.
Then me.
Who liked the girlfriend's best friend?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and we were all friends. We were a little friend group. So we walked in, and same employee. Here's the thing, though. We took my car, and apparently at this point, she knew what car I drove. Because she
She tagged you.
She was on break or something, I guess, and because she was standing outside. She saw my car, and she does this. She's like, huh? Like, starts frantically waving, and then runs inside to go serve us.
Oh, no.
Or me, at least. But then she sees me with this other girl. I'm not dating, by the way. But I guess she could tell that I was more interested in this girl because she gave her death glares the whole time.
Dang.
And she was so not rude, but passive aggressive.
Here's your sub. Would you like any drink or chips with that?
Exactly, sort of like that, yeah. But
do you want a drink for these thirsty hoes?
But yeah, I went in, got out as quick as I could, and then the other three were like, "Oh my god, I see," because they thought I was overreacting until they actually saw the girl and saw how she was looking at me, and they're like, maybe he's not lying here.
To me.
But then so some people know this, and I mentioned it before. I used to work in the school system. I used to be a substitute teacher.
You've worked in a lot of places.
So have I. Yeah, well, not as much as some people, but
I'm not saying that you're like Trish from Austin and Ally.
no.
But close.
No, not even to that extreme. But anyways, I worked as a substitute teacher, and I went into the school. And I was substituting, and apparently it was an elementary school, and apparently whatever day that was, this high school, or the high school seniors from the local high school was in the same area. They were coming to that school to do a little choir performance for the kids.
Well, that's cute.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
And it was until I saw her in that choir group.
While you were working?
Yes. I was like, oh no. And I started trying, it's an open auditorium. There's nowhere to hide. So I tried to hide within groups of teachers, kind of behind them. It didn't work. She saw me. She saw me and just was like her eyes wide and her mouth hit the floor, and she starts frantically pointing at me and tapping her friend's shoulder. She's like, oh, right there.
Oh,
that guy.
Oh, no.
I was like, I literally told one of the teachers who I was friends with at that school, I was like, I gave her like a brief summary. I was like, one of those girls stalked me. Help me get out of here. And she's like, honey, I know all about that. it was so great hearing that.
You should get them on. I want to hear their story too.
Oh, same. Like, she was a younger teacher, and she had met like, I assume she meant like some guy, but
She's a real MVP. That's
yeah,
awesome.
she was like, honey, I know all about that. Let's. And she helped me. Like, she told one of the other teachers, like, hey, we need to go handle something real quick. Can you watch these kids? And the other teacher was like, yeah, we're good. So we got out of there.
Fail.
And
Love
like,
it.
just for like the whole thing. And I was like, I was like, thank you. She's like, because when I pointed out the girl to her and she saw that look in her face, she knew exactly
like,
what
I understand completely.
Oh yeah, and that teacher was an MVP. She saved me.
You a real one.
Because I guarantee she would have like followed me out to the parking lot or something.
Oh yeah,
or,
she probably would have like gotten in your trunk.
Like, I never thought in my entire life that I'd have a stalker. I was wrong.
At least you know that people find you attractive. That's nice, right?
I guess.
Look at the bright side.
Like, I do get compliments about things. Like, typically it's about my eyes or my hair. If I get complimented on anything, it's those two things.
Well, and we're guys, so once we get a compliment,
you
we'll
never
hold on
forget
to
it.
it for like 3 years.
Yeah, some girl at Wendy's told me I had really nice eyes. That was 3 years ago, and I still remember it.
Exactly.
Like, just this weekend, some girl said that my eyes were like super green, and that was like her favorite color, and I was like, okay, cool.
You won't forget that ever in your life.
Nope. So now I kind of want to. Now we're gonna pivot to your stalker story. So I'm gonna give some background.
I didn't even know this person.
I'm gonna give some background context to set it up. I don't remember what birthday it was. I was in middle school.
Was it a roller skating rink?
It was like yeah, it was at a roller skating rink. I was either in 6th or 7th.
Also, I didn't know how to
I
roller
was
skate.
I think I was in 7th grade at this point.
I do
Maybe
now.
6th.
Don't judge me in the comments.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said I didn't know how to roller skate at the time.
No, you did not.
But I do now, so don't judge me in the comments.
But we were in like 6th or 7th grade, of course. Like, some people aren't gonna know.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening is because I went to public school for a little while.
I've never seen this girl in my life before.
Yeah, so I had I was told my parents wanted me to invite all my classmates. Well, me and this girl were not friends. We were acquaintances at best. But she was like a more outcast kid. It's like I never had a problem with her or anything like that. We just didn't really talk that much. But my parents wanted me to invite her to not make her feel left out since I invited most everyone else.
Okay.
So I was like, whatever. I don't really want to, but okay.
Did she get you a gift?
I think she did.
Oh, that's nice.
It was like some gift card, I think.
That's good.
Or something. But
that's nice.
I invited this girl, and, like, at the roller rink or whatever, she was there and a bunch of others. Then he pulls up. Kaden, I'll let you take it from here.
Well, okay, so we got checked in, and I got my skates, and I was like a size 7 or 8 or whatever in middle school. It doesn't matter. So, get my skates, try to put them on. It's relevant because I have massive feet.
You called me Brickfoot.
Hey, they're lanky. They're like pancakes, okay? Leave me alone. So, I start to like put them on and try to kind of get the feel for balance, and I hadn't really been skating before much after that, but I've never seen this girl in my entire life, and she just kind of like rolls up to me like, hey, I'll help you. She was like, hey, I'm gonna help you learn, like, since you're having issues.
It was like right as he arrived too.
Yeah, I didn't even get my skates on. She's like, come on, I'll show you how.
And she was, I remember you telling me, she was like, hey, I'll help you put your skates on or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it was like right out the gate. I didn't really know who this girl was, but I'm like, okay. Well, middle school Kaden was like, okay. So we start going around, and I'm like going super slow and like shaky and trying to keep my balance, and eventually I'm like, I just need to stop. I need to take my break. Like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. So I roll out, and you know how like you can roll in, they have bars and stuff. Anyway, I didn't have any issues in there, thankfully.
But she did almost
She tried to follow me into the bathroom.
I remember you slamming, because I saw it. I remember you slamming the door so she wouldn't.
I'm like, you can't come in. Hello? You can't come into the bathroom with me.
Well, then we get told from his mother that after, and I kind of saw like the beginning of this, and then I like went away.
Dang, a real homie. Thanks.
Well, you were in the bathroom.
Thanks.
You were fine at this point.
Mm.
She rolled up to his mom and sat down because she saw him enter with her. Well, he sat down next to her, and she says, to your mom, I really like. Let's reenact it. You be her. I'll be your mom.
Okay. She was all like, I need to let you know. I forget her exact wording, but she was like, I need to tell you
think you had said
something.
like, I really like your son.
No, she's like, I like your son. And she was like,
Oh, well, that's nice, but he's not ready to date right now.
but I like your son. He will be mine.
What she actually said was
No. And the mom's all like, we're not doing this. Like,
Yeah.
no, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
And then she goes full blown, but I want him.
Sorry, headphone listeners. But
And so mom's
stopped her foot and was like, "But I want him."
And so mom's like, we're leaving now.
Yeah, I remember you came and got me, and you were like, "Hey, we gotta go." And I was like, "This early? Why?" And I was like, because you had told me about the girl, I think, but like it wasn't.
It wouldn't have been hard to miss. She was following me everywhere.
Yeah, it was before it got to like that point, and then you told me like, and then I was like, oh, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like,
and I mean this. I don't know if she tried to like find me or anything much after that. I just remember like she went 0 to 100 instantly during that.
so did
that party.
To be fair, it was middle school. That was kind of like the thing.
That's what I mean. Like I was like, okay, but she didn't like figure out what car my family had and like drive or get in the trunk.
I
or
remember
anything
her
like that,
name,
so.
but I don't. I think I remember her. I wonder what she's like. How much she's changed since middle. Like, let's be real though. You have not changed too much since middle school. At least like personality wise. Like you've been a little bit more toxic.
I got a little bit more controversial, I think.
Yeah. Other than that, though, you pretty much like kind of remain the same. While for me, I kind of did like all. I have like my core traits, but I changed a lot since middle school.
Well, and I'm thinking like, since middle school, I went through like a bunch of. I mean, it wasn't like a hard teenage.
You went through your
years
afro
like
phase.
that.
You went through your bill.
Yeah, I
your
did.
bill
and
phase.
I went through like some weird
duct tape phase.
and being like hurt by a bunch of people for no reason, sort of a thing. And so, at the end of it all, it's like, oh, you found yourself, kind of, but
more like you just.
It made me more like, I don't know, aggressive.
The thing is, though, is like through all that, like, from an outside perspective at least, and what you've told me, it's like you found like your core, like the friends you can actually like rely on, and like that's how you know.
Yeah.
Because like I've grown up with a lot of people. I knew everybody. I still know everybody, but it's like out of all that, like I've had multiple friends and friend groups, and then like I always wanted to hang out with the more popular ones, and it's like now I hang out with the people who just got my back, like, while I have a ton of like friends, I really only hang out with like 5.
Yeah. I would say.
Yeah. And it's like, and that's fine, you know?
That's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
You find yourself and you find your friends.
Well, I made friends at that age, but they were nothing like me at all.
No. I mean, like, let's take our friend Seth. Let's be honest. Us two and Seth have nothing in common.
No.
Not even remotely.
No, not even a little bit.
And yet,
Definitely not.
Seth was a homie. It's like, I still think Seth is somewhat of a homie. Like, even after all these years. He's still,
Yeah. I can see that.
like, for me, and I might have talked about that
I learned
before.
how to drive a tractor.
Then you ran over a goat. You disabled a goat, Kaden.
I don't want to hear this anymore, so I won't.
You de-legged a goat. You gave him
He
his
still
name.
he still had 3 legs, by the way. It was fine.
Yeah, they named him Tripod.
He could still walk.
They named him Tripod.
You think this wasn't traumatizing for me? I was 15.
And then he got...
What am I supposed to do once you run over a goat and its leg is bleeding underneath the thing?
I thought you didn't realize he was there for a while.
You could hear the screams. You could hear the screams. Traumatizing. Absolutely traumatizing. Better than running over like a person, I suppose, but still traumatizing.
I think every time I think of like a story of someone running something over, I go back to like Rooster Teeth, and I think of this guy from the company. It's a comedy company, and they have a subdivision called Achievement Hunter. They're like a gaming division. Well, their old leader named Jeff, he's this older guy, but hilarious, and it's just he's I don't know how to describe him. Interesting dude, but and it's one of my favorite episodes they have a podcast called the Off Topic Podcast. It's one of their many ones, and like the title says, it's kind of like how they talk about just pretty much anything. Yeah, stories and just all sorts. Well, they were doing a live filming at, I think it was RTX, which is like a convention thing they host. Mm-hmm. It might not have been RTX, but I think it was RTX Australia, and and it always gets a laugh out of me. So the podcast normally goes for 2 hours. This one they made it an hour. It's a convention. People don't have that long. Mm-hmm. So I think at the 40-minute mark, around there, like the last 20 minutes, he talks about how he hit a deer.
Oof.
And I'm gonna do a quick summary of it but if I can remember the name, I'll put it in the description because it was hilarious.
Is there more to this story than hit a deer?
Oh, it's so he's coming home, or he's headed to his girlfriend's house one night, and he hits a deer, and then he knows his girlfriend loves animals, so he doesn't know what to do. And the deer's sitting there, and the noise he makes is like the deer's just laying there going, nah. But it's not dead, and he doesn't know how to kill it. So he calls his girlfriend, and she's like, you gotta kill it. He's like, what? And he's like, you gotta run it over and kill it. And he's like,
no,
okay,
no.
So he's sitting there and he's trying to line it up. The deer's still screaming and agony.
Oh my god!
So then he says, "So I back up and his exact words to quote it. He's like, "So I backed up and then I floored it." And then one of them's like, "Jesus!"
Oh my god!
And he's like, and right as I floored it and was heading towards the deer, he's like, the deer jumped up and ran away. And he's like, "Oh, thank God!" And then another deer ran out and I hit that deer.
No.
And he's like,
foul.
He hit a deer on the way back to hit a deer. And then he's like, not on your way back from hitting it, on your way back to kill it. And then and that just started. So he's told that, and then he talked about how there was another deer where he was it was in the winter. He's on a similar road, and he sees a deer. Well, he slams on the brakes, but the road's icy, so he's just the car keeps going. He's like, I'm catching up on it fast, and I don't want to. And they get at this bridge, and he says the deer looks back at him, and then jumps off the bridge. And there was a deep bridge with nothing below it.
Oh no!
And they're like, "You made a deer commit suicide!" And he's like, "Do you think the deer just looked back at you and said, 'You've killed me'?" And then he's like, "Did you go check out?" Or he's like, "No, I hydroplaned for another mile."
All right, link the clip.
I'll link the whole episode because it's the last but it didn't end there. And they're saying you got a deer crossing sign in the woods. They said in the woods there's a sign of Jeff. It's like, don't go near it. He'll run you over. He'll make you jump off a bridge. It's like, mother effer will come back for you.
Facts.
And it didn't. And then he talks about how he's ran over a cat.
Dude,
and he got stuck in his wheel.
Stop.
And then he almost hit 2 people.
Stop. No.
He made a car run off the road.
Stop it.
A van
No.
run off the road and flip over.
No.
And the people his friends are just like, I've been in your car.
This dude can walk. This dude can walk everywhere.
And they're like, one of them made the joke. It's because they're in Australia. And he's like, I've heard that kangaroo are like a vermin here. There's so many of them. It's like, maybe you should try one of those. And he's like, anybody got a truck I can borrow? I'll have to show it, send you a link to it. Because
link it in the description in case anyone wants to
watch. You should listen to it on your way home because it is hilarious. It always gets me busting out loud. I've heard it so many times I can quote half of it.
No.
But it is always funny. I never stop laughing at it.
So long story short is Be careful on the roads, children.
I think the real moral of the story is beware of Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of this. That's a different story. I apologize in advance to everybody that's going to get mad at us for destroying several animals and talking about it.
Speaking of that, I watched a squirrel get run over the other day.
Just make it worse. All right, sure.
Go
for it.
On the road back here. So, two-way road.
Our vegan audience is gone.
What vegan audience?
Hey, if you're not secure enough in your veganism, you shouldn't be watching.
So, I'm coming down the right side of the road. No.
What?
No. Yes. No, I was coming down the left side of the road. Like if you're looking at the road, it's my right, their left.
What do you
mean?
Okay, when you're driving, you're always on the right side.
I'm on the right side of the road. Well, on the left side of the road, I see a squirrel run out, and I'm, slamming on brakes. I don't want to hit the squirrel. But then I see it run back across, and I was like, okay, good. And a car came, and it like clipped it, and it just, I literally saw it. I just saw it go like this. Whoop. Like it literally shot like 10 feet in the air, like kind of like hit like a, and then just fell and stayed in that position.
Dang.
I went to check on it later, and there was nothing left of it. Somebody else had apparently hit this.
Ruthless world we live in.
I was like, I was so traumatized because I was calling my brother, and the moment his Pete picked up, I had just witnessed this, and I was like, he's like, hello, and I'm like, and he's like, hello, and I'm like, what just happened? He's like, I don't know. You tell.
R.I.P. squirrel.
That poor squirrel.
R.I.P. He didn't deserve it.
This is a really weird episode.
So young.
The stories of this episode are very brutal to say. Very like, I don't know. What would you call this?
Dark. I don't know. Trauma. Stalkers and trauma.
I think the episode's just gonna be called Stalkers, Stalkers and Roadkill. I feel like that's a good title for this episode.
But is it really roadkill if I hit it with a tractor, though?
So what?
It was a tractor.
Farm kill? Field kill?
Farm kill.
Field kill, I think.
It doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter. Trauma. But it made us the people we are today, right? Right. It's how we grow. It's how we become who we truly meant to be. Without those events, we would be worse off, right?
The TVA wouldn't allow otherwise.
Sacred timeline.
Freaking Loki episode 4.
No spoils.
No, of course not. But freaking top. This is probably in the top 5 best Marvel things ever, or Marvel Studios things. True. Top 10 at least.
All right, fun question. If you could add a season to any show that you've seen that ended, like the show ran its course and ended, what would it be?
By ended, do you mean it, like, for example, it was canceled and
Either.
Didn't get a finale, or it got a finale but you want to add to it?
Either one.
Well,
what ending would you like expand on? What season would you add?
Funny enough, I think of shows that didn't get a proper ending. And, like, for example, I think of every Spider-Man, or, like, most Spider-Man cartoons.
Yeah.
Like, the 90s show, I love it. And it's like, it ended off with him going in search of Mary Jane, and that was it. We never saw him actually find Mary. And I was like, I want to see him find Mary Jane. I want to... And then, but Spectacular Spider-Man, I think...
You think so?
That show, because it didn't get its finale. It was supposed to have another season before, like, legal trouble and all that, like, or legal battles. And then, like, it was a Sony-made show, but then it went back to Marvel, the cartoon rights, at least.
Yeah.
And it ended so terrible. Like, I mean, it ended great, but it wasn't a real finale. Like, it just left off on the most, like, sad note ever. Which is on brand for Spider-Man, let's be real. But
there's a couple of shows I would do it to, but, like, I feel like the Star Wars shows kind of got good ending. Like they're good. They don't really need
The Clone Wars.
more.
The Clone Wars ended perfectly.
Yeah, the Clone Wars was good. I wouldn't change it.
Rebels was fine.
I'm still salty about How I Met Your Mother. But
Heroes.
It's fine.
So Heroes, I don't know if this counts though because
The Office went too long.
Yeah. Okay. So with Heroes, it had 4 seasons. 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4 seasons. It was supposed to have a 5th. It didn't get it because they canceled the show. Because it literally says like to be continued.
And it wasn't continued.
No. Now,
Dang.
however many years, like 5 or so years later, we got Heroes Reborn, but that sucked. Yeah. It was bad. Like it had like 1 or 2. It had 2 really good
I
episodes.
feel like most reboots suck.
Well, it had 2 really good episodes where it basically like tied into the plot of the original. It's basically like they did a lot of time travel. They brought back a lot of the older characters.
On brand.
It's like it was the nostalgia. Like it actually felt like the original show again. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, those 2 episodes are freaking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the series cannot hold anything to them.
Yeah.
So it's like I kind of wanted to see. Now they did say that next season would have kind of been like Heroes Reborn. Like what would have happened like right after the world was revealed that all the heroes, like all these people had powers. But I kind of wanted to see how they would do that within the first year because I don't know if they would have been hunted because they already did that storyline.
Yeah.
I imagine it would have been kind of like an X-Men scenario, like
Probably.
where they're having to
Yeah.
say like, hey, we're peaceful, you know, we're not like, you know, I don't know. I feel like that, but I think my overall decision is gonna have to be Spectacular Spider-Man. That's a show that sets so well with me, and I hate how it had to end.
You know, I might go with a odd one here. Wild card, right? I'm gonna say mine's probably gonna be Danny Phantom, because
I just thought of something.
Danny Phantom could have gone so much longer.
Oh yeah,
it was just getting
good.
It
had a good finale though. Like
it had a decent enough finale.
Here's the thing,
but it could have gone on.
I'm gonna say one real quick, and then I'm gonna elaborate on something from that because one of the things, Gravity Falls. Mm-hmm. Gravity Falls could have gotten.
I never got into Gravity Falls.
How? It's amazing.
Because I think that came out about when I was doing a bunch of crap.
I think nowadays you'd really like that show.
It's
more in line with what you kind of watch, but yes, or Bravest Warriors. Those are 2 shows that I love. Those both could have gotten another season, but something that
I know a lot of people wanted more Gravity Falls.
One of the things that really annoys me with TV shows, mostly cartoons. I mostly, well, a lot of shows, but I see this mostly on cartoons where you want like the 2 main characters, like they have like that teasing love thing. I use Danny Phantom, like Sam and Danny. Literally, it's like you wait till the final episode. I was like, I kind of want to see where that goes. Now, one of the few examples was Kim Possible. It was supposed to end after the movie. It had its 3 seasons and it was going to end after the movie.
Yep.
And that was going to be the finale. And I'm glad, but then all the fans were like, no, we better get one more season of this. And they were like, okay, fine, we'll give you the final season or whatever. And it was a good season. Mm-hmm. And in its finale, like where it was a great finale.
You know, I was going to say Phineas and Ferb could get another one too. Phineas and Ferb deserved a lot of respect.
Well, it got a movie and everything.
It got a couple of different things.
And then they brought him back in Milo Murphy's Law, which was also great. That one could probably stand to get another season. What? I've told you about this.
What is that?
Milo Murphy's Law it was created by the same people, and it's basically a show about, like, you know, Murphy's Law, like anything bad that can't happen.
Yeah, I do remember you telling me about.
So yeah, it's like a kid who, you know,
Phineas
he's a Murphy.
And Ferb is in that.
So in season 2, like
is this just like an Easter egg thing, like a cameo?
No, not exactly. So who is it? Like they made Easter eggs. Like they made a Squirrels in My Pants reference. They referenced the roller coaster from the first episode of Phineas and Ferb. They made a lot of. They clearly were just in North Danville. Like they were clearly bordering each other. Mm. But they made a lot of references, but never any directly. Until
you're telling me there's a Phineas and Ferb cinematic universe?
Yes. And then in the end of the first season, these like time travel guys, they're trying to find this guy named Professor Time. Basically this guy who like invents time travel and like is one of the greatest people of all time. and then they get caught in like a trap, and then you know who walks out? Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like, he's like, you're not the pizza delivery guy.
Oh my goodness.
In classic fashion. And then from there, like, they do like a whole thing with Phineas and Ferb in like the beginning of season 2, where they have to like stop this like plot from the first. Like the first season has a plot that it follows, and it follows it very well, and then it kind of concludes with the beginning of season 1. And then season 2 was a bit more here and there. It didn't follow as much of a narrative storyline, but it was still good. But yeah, they brought them in. And it was like a big crossover thing, like, and it was hilarious because it got to this, like, they made a really funny joke about Phineas and Ferb, how like, well, what do you guys do when stuff goes wrong? And they're just like sitting there like, we have never had that happen ever. And it's like there's like their, you know, never have anything go wrong, and his, like, they can aim that, basically they aim his bad luck at other things, and they create like a whole weapon out of it to defeat this like enemy thing. It was great. It was great.
Sounds whack.
Buford and Baljeet were hilarious, like the plot line they gave them. But then it was then Dr. Doofenshmirtz became like a series regular. Like they end up destroying his tower, and he ends up having to go live with Milo and all them. And then like it also, like, Perry makes a lot of appearances because of that. And it's like it and then Vanessa appears every now and again.
Dang, bro.
It was really good. Like,
they know about all this crap.
You gotta watch it. Like, if you like Phineas and Ferb, seriously, go watch Milo Murphy's Law. It was great. It had and then
no. I will not do that.
They had like they have a funny theme. Like the theme song to the show is really funny too, because it's like him just like kind of stepping out of the way of all these like dangerous things, like anvils falling and all that. Well, they did like this thing where they got Dr. Doofenshmirtz to take the place of Milo in the theme song, and he just is getting wrecked by everything.
Okay.
It was... Oh, and funny enough, you know who voices Milo? Weird Al Yankovic.
Okay, I've heard enough.
And he does a lot of the songs for the show.
Understandable. You watch too much TV, dude. I haven't even heard of that.
I watch a lot of movies, but I do try to keep up on like the popular or the really good cartoons.
Nah, you just watch Ben 10.
I know what show I want another season of now.
Ben 10.
Well, yes, but
see, you can't fight it.
I was gonna say Steven. Actually, either Generator Rex or Steven Universe.
Don't even talk about Steven Universe.
You haven't seen it. You don't know.
Steven Universe is so stupid, bro.
You have not seen it. You do not know.
It's so dumb.
It is
all that I know about Steven Universe is the fandom and the community around it, and I hate that.
That is fair, but honestly, that's what got me to watch it. Is I was like, they're a huge fandom for the show. There's got to be a reason.
They're even more toxic than I am. What do you mean?
I was just curious as to why the show had such a big fan base, so I watched it, and it was like one of those shows where once you push through the first season, you're like, this is getting good.
I will not watch that.
I fully believe that you will not. But
even if I would enjoy it, I will not watch it out of principle.
It was good. I liked it. So yeah, guys, tell us what you thought.
Tell us about your roadkill stories.
Do you have any stalkers?
Do you have stalkers? Where did you meet your stalker?
Or
are they
better
in
question,
your house?
Where did they meet you?
Better question.
And where
are they behind you right now?
Yeah, I was gonna say, where are they watch? Are they watching from your upstairs closet or your downstairs closet?
Tell us. Let us know. Tell us in the comments which closet they're hiding from.
And how often do you have to get a teacher to help you escape?
I imagine not very often.
Nah, I think that's just me.
Probably.
Shout out to that teacher. She was a homie.
You a real one. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. And remember, our gang's just a little twisted.
Bye,
See you later,
guys.
guys.